Hey guys, Kev here, and I'm ready to do my full review on the Shirogorov Neon Zero Lefty. So, first off, I want to say we're going to see how the audio is. So, in my office, it is now becoming spring/summer, it gets hot, air conditioning. My house is 100 plus years old. You can't do central air. You can only do it on the first floor. It's not worth the 10 grand or whatever. So I have window units. And right now it's pouring fucking rain. So the rain is bashing off the windows, bashing off the air conditioner. I have the air conditioner on, and I have a fan on. So, we shall see how that all works. Plus, add in the white noise from my kid's monitor, which I'm monitoring because I'm on dad duty. So, usually I talk loud enough to overcome said things, but we shall see how it goes. I apologize in advance. So, this here is the Shirogorov Neon Zero in a Lefty configuration is what makes it special. This was loaned into me by a guy I met in the EDC for Lefties group on Facebook. A very nice gentleman named Will. He did not ask me to put any of his information up, so I'm not going to. I don't have his Instagram, it's just Facebook. Needless to say, I kind of explained in my other videos on this. I posted saying, should I buy one? Because I had a bunch of funds from my purge, and I was thinking about getting one because Lefty, Shiro, pretty cool, right? And he actually posted in there, hey, I'm selling mine for however much, $630. These go for $700 new. And I was like, I'd probably just get a new one at that point. And the action didn't look fantastic on his, which, by the way, it has broken in. And I kind of just ended up, from that post, I sort of decided not to get one. Which is interesting because I went into it wanting to get one, kind of. But $700 for a flipper only, it just, I don't know. So I didn't do it. And then somebody else said they would buy it, and I was like, okay, here, go buy it, whatever. And it never happened. It fell through, and then eventually the guy, he offered to send it to me as a loaner, and I guess the option to buy, right? And spoiler alert, I'm not buying this. But that's kind of how this started, and then I got it, and I started the review process, and I've carried it a few times. I flipped it a bunch. I put some KPL in it to try to get the action tuned a little bit without messing with any pivots or anything, and yeah, so I'm ready to just wrap this sucker up. I don't have a ton of experience with the blade. I did open a package today with it, and I cut a sheet or two of paper to test the edge, but I did not really cut extensively with it. Now, that's kind of my normal. Like, I don't do a lot of heavy cutting. I occasionally open a package, whatever, but for the sake of that, I'll probably just call this an overview, not a full review. So if I said full review earlier, I meant overview. Yeah. So, aesthetically, it's pretty cool. I mean, I like the lines. It's nice and clean, has a cool drop point with a little bit of action going on here, right? A little bit of rounding here, a little bit of jimping here, some belly and some straight. Or not straight, but, not crazy belly. Pretty neutral on the handle. A little bit of a curve here, a little bit of a curve here. Nothing crazy, right? And I've never been like, oh my god, a Shirogorov. Like, I feel like a lot of people love the design language, and I just never have. And I think that's part of why I don't want one. Because I think somebody who thinks this is sexy as all get out is much more likely to want to pick it up, right? So, there's that. Ergonomics. So this knife is comfortable. It's very comfortable in my hand. It fits very well. You can see there, it just fits. I fit all 4 fingers. My fingers actually land on jimping, which is good. It's not rough jimping. It's not soft jimping. It's basically perfect. So the ergonomics are good. I feel the clip in my palm a little bit, but that's more me. I'm not used to lefty knives, if that makes sense. So I'm used to having a right-handed knife where when I grip it, there's nothing in my palm. It's smooth over here, and the clip is kind of over here. It can be a hot spot or not. So I'm not that used to having a clip just sitting in my palm. With that said, this clip is very flat. It doesn't stand off a lot. It's smooth. So it feels great. It's just, again, me personally, something I notice. So I don't know how that's going to be a mileage may vary situation. Carry has a very good clip on it. It's pretty damn deep. Goes to about there. It goes in pocket, out of pocket very well. Retention is very solid. I definitely enjoyed carrying this in my front left pocket because it's a lefty knife, which is nice. You don't have to worry about that flipper tab sticking out and poking you. It really doesn't have a pecker on it anyway. Just a little bit of jimping on there. Nothing to really mess you up. Something else I'm not really used to is having a flipper in my pocket like this where I reach past it. Usually if it's right-handed, it's either in my back pocket or it'll be this way, you know. But I never felt it once. So carry is good. We sort of talked about cutting. I don't have much more to report on that. This is an M390 steel, and I've heard Shirogorov does a very good heat treat. I feel like everybody does a good heat treat. I don't know how much heat treat really... I don't know. You hear about it a lot, but it's like, it's M390 as some people would say, it's more like, it's like making cookies. You just cook them. You have a recipe, you follow it, you hit it, you're good, right? Like, can you undercook it or overcook it a little? Maybe. But how much does that really... You know what? I don't know shit, so... I've heard they're good at heat treat, okay? I just don't believe in the special sauce heat treat stuff like everybody says about Chris Reeve and their S35VN. From the people who actually use S35 or use Chris Reeve knives, I've heard it's kind of soft actually, and you need to sharpen it a lot. So I don't know where this McDonald's special sauce S35VN's coming from, but apparently Shirogorov is like that with their M390, so I guess it can't hurt, right? I'm going to shut up about that so I don't get trolled. Yeah. Sounds. Now, you're going to hear all the other shit in the background, but... It's like a 5. Middle of the road, nothing special, nothing great. That made no sense. Nothing terrible, nothing great, right? Alright, now we get to the good part. Action. Been waiting for that, Kev. Well, I could sit here talking about your air conditioner all day, you hear, brother? Sorry, I don't know who that was. So, this is where it's a make or break for me. This is where I'm going to buy this knife or I'm not, right? If that action is so addictive that I can't stop flicking it like my whole haptic, I'm going to have to get me one, right? But that did not happen here. So, flipper tab, too small, too minimal. It's just like I can miss it because it's so damn small that like I'll just go right over it. Maybe my finger's too fat. It doesn't seem like a super fat finger. I don't know. I have to really lightning strike it. Why the fuck did I say that? Maybe because of Anno, lightning strike Anno. Light switch it. I have to really give it a good light switch. The push button is kind of like, you could do it, but it's just sort of like awkward and it's pokey and it hurts. I don't think you can fail this knife. Yeah, you can fail it. But that's me doing the old push it in while I pinch move. that doesn't really count. If you go to break the detent, you want to do my test, it locks up. Well, hold on. I'm trying not to put any pressure on the lock bar because that's cheating. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a solid detent. That's not the issue here. The issue here is that flipper tab just being a little too dinky and small for me. And then the handle is super thin, right? So this knife is susceptible to the frame lock issue where if you put pressure down, it won't flip out. So I have to be a little bit more careful. It's not super sensitive, but it can get you caught up if you're already kind of slipping off and then you have a little bit of pressure and you just don't hit it. I don't know. It's just not my favorite flipping action ever. But it has a good detent. If you have small fingers and you like this style of flipper, you know, have at it. I just wish it was a little bit, like, out a little farther. Like the whole haptic flipper. It comes out a little bit more, and then it has a flatter type shelf. And then you can really, like, get in there and flip it, you know, and do it confidently. Now, on the close, so it does the Shiro stuff now. I added a little bit of KPL. I flipped it a bunch. And it's now doing the Shiro stuff. But it still occasionally gets, it's like stuck. There's like a position where sometimes it just gets hung up. I don't know. If I don't keep rotating down, it'll get stuck. Like, watch. Now, if I wait a second and then go down, now it's like stuck here, right? I gotta shake it more. I don't know what that's about. It's just not perfect. And if I was gonna spend $700 on this knife, I want it to be Shiro glide action every mother flipping time. Here's another issue. No detent ball ramp, or at least not a good one. I don't see one in there at all, actually. So, yeah, it's kind of a non-issue because you're usually going to go past that anyway. But if you do happen to stop it up here, if you happen to be left... wait, that's stupid. I guess if you happen to be right-handed, you might do one of these guys like a lefty would, and then you're stuck. So, $700. I want a detent ball ramp. Sue me. So, just all of that kind of combined just doesn't do it for me for 700 bones. I already have the haptic that I've basically spent $1,000 on. This is not going to fill any holes for me, right? I do like that it's lefty. I like that they came up with a lefty knife. I do wonder if the right-handed version of this knife is $700. It seems really expensive. I feel like they were only like eight. I feel like they were only like $600 or like $550 or $600. So like they added over $100 just to make a lefty. Like we appreciate it, but I don't know. That's crazy. It is dead centered. It has that little notch to put the blade into. Again, something I'm seeing a shit ton lately. It's weird. I guess the more higher end you go, the more of that you get. So, I don't know, guys. It's definitely not a value. It's a Russian-made knife. It is well made. I can't take it apart for two reasons. It's not my knife, and it has a multi-row bearing system with free-floating bearings, and apparently it's a big pain in the ass. I can't technically speak to that, but that sucks. I want to be able to maintain my knife. Even, again, comparing Holt Haptic, I could take that apart. I even swapped the bearings on that knife and put it back together. Boom, Bob's your uncle. I have an even better knife. I like that they do the multi-row bearings because it does this kind of thing. But it kind of sucks that you can't maintain your knife without probably voiding a warranty and probably having a big motherfucking issue, right? So, yeah, I'm not there on value. Recommendations. So, let's just look at the Neon Zero in general. Right-handed or left-handed, it comes in either option. So, I'm not going to do the, as a lefty, you can't operate it, and I'm not going to do the, as a righty, this would suck, right? So, for the appropriate hand, would I recommend this knife? Okay. I do have to caveat this. If you're left-handed, This is the only Shirogorov currently you can get, as far as I know. This is one of the only higher-end production knives, like haptics, Shiros, I mean Holtz, Shiros, Norseman, you know what I mean, those tier of knives. They don't really come in lefties, so this is your option. That's why they were very popular when they came out, even though they were $700. So, if that's what you're looking for and you're left-handed, sure, I can recommend it. It's a good knife. There's nothing actually wrong with this knife. Like, it's good. It's just not for me personally. I think it's a little small. The flipper tab's a little bit tiny. Not really shelved appropriately, if that makes sense. I can't really, like, I don't know, get a good enough grip on it. The action just quite isn't enough. I just need a little more. It's a little thin, so the frame lock gets in my way. Yeah, those are my issues with it. But it's a solidly well-built knife. It's very well done in terms of fit and finish. The price tag's a little high for me. And there's the Shirogorov Bear, by the way. Maker's Mark, in case you're wondering. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. If you're right-handed, I don't think I would get a Neon Zero. I think I would step it up and get a Quantum. Or, what are the other ones? The 95R or something cool, right? This is just a little too basic for the money. So that, guys, is the Shirogorov Neon Zero in lefty configuration. Let me have it in the comments. I absolutely love you guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will catch you later.